Please join me in Gasho. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. Namo Amitabhats. Namo Amitabhats. Namo Amitabhats. Namo Amitabhats. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that everyone's rested up after last week. I was really sad to miss Oban this year. I had to be out of town, but just want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge all the people who helped out last weekend. And how many days is it till the next Oban? My talk today will be on a subject that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is the Seattle Betsuine Library. Most of you have heard me harping on this project for some time now, so bear with me while I talk about it both during my Dharma talk now and then again during Dharma exchange afterwards. In this first part, I will focus on the significance of books and texts in our Jodo Shinshu tradition. And then during Dharma exchange, Reverend Castro and I will talk about some of the decisions that were made during the actual construction of the new library and how they relate to the ethos of the Eco-Sangha that we're trying to build here at the Betsuine. So I'm sure that all of you recognize the quote that I started with. We've said it twice today now. It's from the Threefold Refuge. Each week we say these words together, making a promise to take refuge in the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. But while we're saying these words, do we ever stop to wonder what the storehouse of the Dharma is? If you think about it, in the context of our Betsuine, the Betsuine Library is probably the closest thing we have to a storehouse of the Dharma. The library is a space where all the teachings, secrets, and stories of our tradition are kept. I understand, of course, that not all of us will read all of the books in our library. Most of us will never even skim or lay hands on most of them. Likely, none of us will become a wisdom ocean. But I think it's important to aspire to know more about the Dharma, and the library offers us the potential to do so. We are storing a written record of what the Buddha, Shinran Shonin, and Master Renyo taught, and maintaining that written record is one of the things that makes our space sacred. We are not the first to feel that these texts are sacred, and I want to tell you a story that illustrates the historical importance of preserving the written Dharma in our tradition. A long time ago, in the year 1474, in medieval Japan, Renyo Shonin sat down to write a letter one evening at his temple in Yoshikaze. As he was writing, a fire broke out, and Renyo Shonin and his disciples ran outside, narrowly escaping the flames. Standing in the exterior courtyard, Renyo Shonin remembered that he had forgotten in his room a very precious copy of the Kyogyo Shinsho, written in Shinran Shonin's own hand. For those of you who are not familiar with the Kyogyo Shinsho, it is the major text written by Shinran Shonin. When one of his disciples, Honkobo Ryoken, heard this, he felt impelled to go back to retrieve the text, and he rushed back into the building. Renyo Shonin and his followers waited and waited, but Ryoken never re-emerged. Once the fire died out, they went searching through the embers for Ryoken's body. They were able to find it just outside Renyo Shonin's room. When they carefully turned him over, they found that when he realized he would never escape alive, Ryokan had cut himself open and inserted the text into his belly to protect it. The Kyogyo Shinsho was saved, but it was stained a deep red. This copy of the Kyogyo Shinsho that was saved from the fire came to be known as the Haragomori no Shogyo, the sacred text confined in the belly. It is said that because of this story, the cover of the Joro Shinshu service books are traditionally colored red. And I wanted to show you an example of that we have right here. So why did Ryokan make this sacrifice? I believe that one of the reasons is that in the absence of a living teacher, the written Dharma rises to become of paramount importance. Neither Shakyamuni Buddha, Shinran Shonin, or Renyo Shonin are here to guide us today, but their words have been preserved in our sutras and texts. Ryokan understood the absence of the Kyogyo Shinsho would be an irreparable loss. It is only when something or someone is absent that we are able to truly evaluate its importance. For example, I gave almost no thought to my washing machine until it broke this past week. And now suddenly purchasing a new washer has risen to the very top of my priority list. Likely once I have a new washer installed, it will once again sink to the bottom of my consciousness. But it is now clear to me how important it is not to go to the laundromat and hand wash my clothes. I probably wouldn't rush into a burning building for one, but if I had to choose between a gold necklace and a washer right now, there would be no contest. In the same way, the losses that we experienced from our arson fire has reminded me of the preciousness of the Betsuin Library. Many of our books were damaged, but I recently found out that many more were saved that I thought had been lost. I was particularly gratified to see that our old photo albums are still with us. We have also received tons of donations, and our library is filling up much more quickly than I had imagined. Another reason that the library has risen to the top of my priority list is that I believe that we're experiencing an important change in human history. We now live in a world where physical text seems to be slowly becoming obsolete and is happening very fast. It feels like yesterday when it felt like a marvelous innovation to scan and upload written materials into the internet so that they could be easily accessed by all. What I didn't realize is that it would bring with it a whole series of unintended consequences. I never stopped to think that human knowledge could be commodified in the way that it has. And now we're going even one step beyond that, where all this knowledge is being synthesized by a machine that scrubs our human imprint from our written words. The Betsuin Library is a small project. It's not going to change the direction of history, but I'm grateful to all of you for understanding its importance and for the support that we have received from the Betsuin to recreate this storehouse of the Dharma in our world. We hope that you enjoy this new space and use it for meetings and for reading to your children and just for taking a break and sitting in some time. Please join me in Gasho. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. Namo Amitabha. Namo Amitabha. Namandabha. Namandabha.